So, well, it's been a wedding that has been spoken on about for months. Will it happen? Won't it happen? Where will it happen? Who all will attend it? Who will get to see the first pictures, venue, so on and so forth? Actually, not the first time that we're seeing this. We're talking about the high profile wedding of Vicky Kaushal and Katrina Kaif. But the question that we want to ask today is there an unhealthy obsession with celebrity weddings that you want to know each movement, each minute what is happening? Or is it
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I lost that connection in between. But I was saying that the question is there an unhealthy obsession with celebrity weddings, or is it okay that we need a distraction once in a while? We're still living in dream times. Pandemic is on, a new variant on the rise. So let's understand what really is happening with the Indian audience versus celebrity weddings. I have with me Dilip Cherian, and I also have my colleague Shilpa joining us. Shilpa, I'll come to you first. As I said, there has been so much interest in will it happen, won't it happen, where will it happen, who all will attend. And now so much has been spoken about the restrictions, the certificates being signed by people. First, what's the word that you're picking up? What can we expect today, tomorrow, as far as the festivities? And more importantly, the guidelines in place as well.
Well, the reports that a 100 crore deal has been signed on with an OTT platform might be some wild speculation, is from what I'm hearing. There could be a deal signed, but the amount, I'm told, could be greatly exaggerated, and that's what a lot of industry insiders are saying. But yes, there could very well be an exclusive deal with a news outlet or an OTT platform, much in the lines of what Priyanka Chopra did. She had a deal with Amazon for her Sangeet, and interestingly, that's not out yet. Though that was exclusively pictured for telecast on that OTT platform. But that was a multi-million-dollar deal that Priyanka Chopra had. Now it'll be interesting to see whether Katrina Kaif and Vicky Kaushal choose to release the pictures on their social media, as we've seen other A-list couples do, or if we're going to be seeing them in a publication. But one thing is for sure, we're not going to get a glimpse of what's going on inside, and that's going to stay top secret until tomorrow. In fact, NDAs have been signed by not just the parties who are attending the wedding, but also vendors who are providing all the services. And this is much in the line of what Anushka and Virat had also done. Already, Vicky Kaushal and Katrina Kaif have been very private individuals. They haven't been clicked together. They've never spoken about their relationship. So much so that there's not even been an official confirmation of the wedding from the two. So definitely that kind of exclusivity ups the ante and puts a heavier price tag on that eventual first brand investment of the film, and definitely for those wedding pictures that we're talking about.
Okay, Shilpa, I know you have another commitment to run to, but quickly, any word on the high-profile attendees that we could see? We saw some yesterday, the likes of Neha Dhupia, Mini Mathur, and others. Any other big names that you're picking up?
Well, we're told it is a rather close-knit ceremony with only close friends and family members. So it is their closest friends it calls, such as filmmaker Kabir Khan, at whose house the Roka was held, and perhaps singer Gurdas Man, who was performing at that wedding. But apart from that, I don't think the guest list is going to be expanding too much. Also, because of the concerns over Omicron, the guest list
Sure.
has been whittled down to just our close friends and family members. So we will not be expecting this guest list to be expanding much in the next couple of days. The D-Day is tomorrow. So all the ceremonies are underway currently. Tonight there's going to be a grand cocktail party, and tomorrow is the D-Day, and we're hearing that the traditional Hindu ceremony, and there will be a Christian one as well. But of course, though we're hearing that the Mehndi ceremony has already taken place, no pictures of that yet, no videos from the event. So that's a very strong NDA in place.
Okay, Shilpa, we leave the details with you there. Dilip, I want to take the conversation forward with you now. As I said, ever since whether it was Virat, Anushka, or Deepika and Ranveer, there has been so much that has been spoken about celebrity weddings, which is in stark contrast to say about even 5 years ago. So the basic question of this debate, do you think there is an unhealthy obsession with these celebrity weddings, or do you think it's okay, it's like a guilty indulgence or a cheat day, and then everybody moves on with their lives?
I tend to go with the view that it is a bit of a cheat day uh, view we should take about these things. As you said at the beginning, and as Shilpa also indicated, there is a commercial angle to this, and the commercial angle is at the moment center piece for discussion. If it is truly a big deal, then you will get to see it portrayed in a certain way. The second part of it is confidentiality always ups the price and ups the
Mhm.
ante. And the third is Omicron and the secrecy that is expected of guests and suppliers. But I think the guilty indulgence part is something that uh, we are seeing growing as part of our culture. And you will of course there has been a gap, there hasn't been anything since the Anushka wedding, but I get a feeling that this is becoming part and parcel of the Bollywood narrative, as it were. Bollywood actually expands its influence and its reach by doing this, because people who are otherwise not interested, say, in the latest release or in some aspect of the personal gym life of a particular actor or actress, will tune in if indeed this is on an OTT platform. And so what Bollywood is actually achieving as a result of this is expanding its footprint by using the uh, notional narrative of a wedding, which allows you to get into every household. Every household is actually either planning a wedding, has just participated in a wedding, and that kind of uh, pleasure of ogling something that's happening, which is private, is something that is unmistakably part of our own culture of wanting to be not just fly in the wall, but commentator on the walls.
That's exactly the question that I wanted to get to. There are two parts of this. Now, some will come out and say they're public figures, then we have a right to know everything else that is happening. One, do you think there is a problem in understanding these are also private individuals and their job entails the role of an actor, and beyond that, they have a right to privacy? And secondly, have you seen a growing sense of wanting to have a say, whether good or bad? In most cases, it's usually bad, right from who's being invited and why did they come together. Do you think there is also a growing sense of wanting to have a comment or a say on everything that's taking place?
The disadvantage of uh, fighting this trend is that it is the equivalent of trying to fight the rise of, say, the penetration of electricity. Social media is now one basket of things that we all live with. So you're open to comment, people will comment about you. So cricketers, politicians, Bollywood actors, and increasingly tycoons, people who have public issues, listings, etc., all recognize that they are 24 by 7 under the obsessive glare of someone or the other. It need not be that large numbers of people are at it, but there is always a bunch of people who are stalking you. So the idea of privacy, if you actually want to enforce it, for example, if these two wanted to get married in private, the best would have been to go away somewhere, and the numbers would have been restricted and reduced. But when you do it in Jaipur, you are really, having the opportunity to be on, as it were, secret display to a lot more people. And the second thing is that this has become part of the lifestyle industry. Chasing it, following it, getting leaks on it, and commenting on it has spawned its own industry. So that industry needs to be
Hmm.
fed and to be kept alive. So that there is no getting away, Ridhima, from the fact that you are actually plugging in new aspects of business into what used to be a conventional I'm a filmy star kind of thing.
Dilip, the reason that I asked you, and it's not just this obsession with weddings, but let's talk about this paparazzi culture that is, literally boomed in the last couple of years, where you have photographers for everything that these stars are doing, whether coming out of their gyms, going to meet a friend, at a film screening, what every minute there needs to be a camera and a paparazzi wanting to clip each and every movement. Now you might criticize this and say, what's the harm? But the counter to this can be that there is also a growing audience that actually wants to consume this. What is your take on this? As I said, growing obsession of wanting to know every moment of these stars, where they're eating, where they're filming, who they're meeting.
My only anxiety is that there are periods in time in the life of every country, in the life of every society, when you should be paying more attention to something else. I think, for example, that the this wedding is, in some senses, as it happens, because it's happening over a Wednesday and a Thursday, blocking out serious issues that are happening in Parliament, are happening in the economy, problems that are going on in dealing with multiple issues, with Omicron, for example. So I have a feeling that a lot of that has got pushed a little bit, meaning, it goes down a notch or two. But, that's one part. The second part is invasiveness. I think when you buy the ticket to stardom or to, billionairedom, you have to give up, unfortunately, an element of your right to privacy. And you can opt out of it by constantly maintaining a no comment or not providing any grist to that mill. But then you'll say, I'm giving up part of my life. But you have a choice to be private, but it means that you then have to give up on certain aspects of your business. And there are big film stars who have chosen to be private, at least globally, for a good part of their life. And they manage to have successful careers despite not tolerating any invasiveness.
Okay. Dilip, last two questions. One, to the commercial part that we were talking about, that the reason there is so much hype that is also built up is to try and garner these commercial deals, that an OTT platform approaches you and says that, okay, nothing will be out, but we'll have a deal with you, exclusive first rights. But is it fair to criticize only the Indian actors? Because globally, this has been a practice that has been done for years, whether it was George Clooney and his wedding, or Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean, we've seen this in the past in the West, where it's a almost an accepted tradition that you will have either the first exclusive rights with a magazine or now an OTT platform.
I think that there is nothing to criticize here. These trends tend to catch on with a slight lag in India, and bad money always drives out good. So practices of this kind, which work commercially, will eventually surface in India, and as long as there is a market. So what I'm saying is that a market is being created. Bollywood is expanding its footprint. There is a paparazzi class. There is a celebrity followers class. There are experts on being experts on hidden weddings. So what you're creating is the infrastructure for this to actually expand and be more commonplace, and more events which will raise the hype even further.
Okay. Dilip, lastly, as I said, this entire wedding, not just for the two high-profile actors coming together, but also because of all these guidelines and restrictions that have been put in place, guests signing an NDA, no photos, no phones. What is your take on this? Because there's been some very interesting memes also on social media. Do you then think this just adds to that exclusive entire narrative that these actors also want to push out?
Forget exclusivity and forget the NDA part of it. I think the biggest hype around this wedding has been the Salman Khan trend. So that in itself has allowed this trend to become much larger than life. So it is not those who attend, those who sign NDAs, but the one who is not attending, which is hogging the center stage, as it were. It's a bit sad for the couple, but there is the elephant in the room, and everyone is loving discussing that elephant also.
Okay, perfect. So we'll leave the conversation there. We'll have to see which way this goes. Will we actually see some sort of a commercial deal out or not? Our reporters have been saying the festivities is still on. But as I said, nobody really knows what's happening inside till we actually see some sort of official, notification from the couple themselves. Dilip, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining us here.
Thank you, Ridhima. Great pleasure. Thank you.